Hey guys, it's Brandon Miniman from Techno Buffalo, and in this video we're going to unbox the new Asus UL30VT laptop. This laptop does a lot of interesting tricks. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but first a bit of a story of how I got to this point. I've actually been looking for a laptop for about 3 months now. I do all my work on a desktop, and I also have a Dell Mini 10 netbook for web browsing. But the netbook really can't run Photoshop, it can't play back HD video on YouTube. It's not really a productivity tool. I can't get much work done on the netbook. It's simply too underpowered to do anything really significant. So I've been looking for a laptop that fits really 4 criteria. Number 1 is size and weight. I wanted it to be very portable, almost as portable as a netbook, but with a bigger screen, so 13-inch screen. The Asus is about 4 pounds, which is extremely light, and it's quite thin too. Number 2, price was a huge consideration. I wanted to stay under $1,000. The Asus used to be, as of a few days ago, $799, which is an awesome value for what you get. But as of today, they've actually increased the price $150 to $949. I think because this is one of the most popular laptops that is shipping this holiday season. Hopefully it'll come down in price come the winter and the spring. Number 3, I wanted power. I wanted the ability to use Photoshop and watch HD video on YouTube and run many applications at one time without the system getting slow. This laptop has actually a Core 2 Duo processor that is underclocked. It's an ultra-low voltage processor. It's only running at 1.3 gigahertz, but I've heard that that's overclockable to 1.7 gigahertz. And additionally, this laptop actually has 2 graphics engines. The first is an integrated Intel graphics engine that you find on many laptops out there, but it also has an NVIDIA GPU, which is really great because you can toggle between these 2 modes on the fly to either get more battery life or get better performance if you're trying to play a game, for example, or do HD video rendering. And finally, number 4, battery life was a significant criteria for getting a laptop. And the Asus UL30VT claims to get 12 hours of battery life, although, manufacturer claims are always way too high. I've been hearing and reading about 9 to 10 hours of battery life is reasonable, which is really high. That's the entire day of work that you can get through with this laptop. And again, the way that it does that is through that ultra-low voltage processor coupled with the graphics card switching to save on power. So let's get to the unboxing. I've been waiting for this for a very long time, and I'm sure you're curious to see what this laptop is like. Looks like we have a box inside of a box. Okay, so we have some specs here that we'll zoom in on. Let's see what we have here. So 8-cell battery. This is the CPU, the ULV-SU7300. Has a 500 gigabyte, 5400 RPM hard drive, although I will be installing this guy, the Intel X25M solid-state drive. It's 80 gigabytes to increase performance further and to get more battery life out of this laptop. And we're going to be covering how to actually do that in future videos, so watch out for that. Let's continue down the line here. We have 4 gigabytes of RAM, although they show it as 2 gigabytes times 2, DDR3. It's running Windows 7 Home Premium Edition, 64-bit. It has 802.11bg and Wi-Fi. I think it also has Bluetooth. And that's pretty much it for specifications. Let's zoom back out and cut into the box here. The box actually feels quite heavy. I guess there's a lot of documentation in here because, as I mentioned, the laptop is only about 4 pounds. As a comparison, a lot of netbooks out there are around 3 pounds. So somewhat of a bland box, smart notebook, smart you. I guess they're trying to keep costs low by having a boring box. Let's see what it's like to open up this guy. Another... Oh, I see. Alright, so it looks like the laptop is in the bottom section here. I think we can pull it out like so. Okay, here's the laptop. We'll take a look at that in a second. Let's see what we get in the box, what kind of accessories there are. So this must be the charger. Pretty small, not as small as some other laptops out there, but that's not big of a deal. Hopefully this will stay off the charger with the incredible battery life. Let's see what else we get inside the box. Here is the battery. It should sit flush with the laptop, not stick out like some other batteries. All right. And here's the other side of the power cord. Nothing terribly interesting. And let's see what kind of software comes with this. We have a cable tie, okay, for the power cable. Power to go. Looks like software for burning programs. We've got some drivers and utilities. And then we have Windows 7 recovery disk. So this is the reinstallation CD that I will be using because I'm going to put the solid state drive in immediately and install Windows 7 from scratch. And hopefully it doesn't carry over all of the Asus programs that tend to sort of, make things a little bit bloated. We've got the Express Gate manual. I think this is Asus's Instant On operating system that lets you access multimedia and things like that. And you can kind of see here, you can access Skype and internet and photos from this Instant On operating system that probably runs in Linux, or something like that. We'll have to take a look at that. User manual. And let's see the laptop. I was also looking at the Sony Vaio laptop SR series because it's very similar in size and weight and even price, but I went with the Asus because the reviews came in very glowing, and the ability to switch from one GPU to the other to save on battery is really cool. So let's take off this plastic, and what we have on the front here is this really nice brushed metal look. It's very high quality. Let me take off this little piece of plastic that's covering up the logo. Okay, very nice. It's very light. The battery's not in right now, of course. Let's open her up. This has an LED backlit display, which helps to save on power. Okay, so a million stickers here that I'm going to have to remove. Let's start by taking off the one on the screen, up here on the webcam, on the touchpad down here, extremely thin. Wow, this feels probably thinner than my netbook, and we'll do a size comparison in a second. The touchpad has an interesting texture. It actually has little bumps on them. It's going to be hard to get used to. This also has multi-touch, like the MacBook, so that you can actually do two-finger scrolling, and there's some other gestures you can do. So we have a chiclet-style keyboard here, also like the MacBook and some other laptops out there, which I actually prefer. I think it's more comfortable. Here's the switch up here that will switch between the two GPUs. And I hear that you have to reboot the system in order to get to the other GPU, but we'll have to test that. See what else it says up here. 16:9 green LED backlit panel, DDR3, RAM, ice cool palm rest, so they're saying the palm rest doesn't get hot. Down here it says instant boot up, smart power manager, eco-friendly, global warranty, blah blah blah. Okay, so that's annoying. Let's take off that sticker. That's better, and we'll take off this sticker as well. So I'm going to put in the battery just to get a feel for how heavy it is when everything is together. So I'm going to close the lid. Very thin lid, by the way. I think that's helped by the LED backlight. And so I'm going to snap this in. Okay, that was easy. And it does stick out a little bit, but not too much. So it's a very lightweight laptop, that's for sure, and it's quite thin too. We're going to go over all the ports on the sides in a future video, but let's take a look at this compared to the Dell Mini 10, which is an 11-inch netbook. So the Asus is not significantly bigger. It's obviously wider in both dimensions. Let's see the thickness. I'm actually going to say that the Asus is thinner than the netbook, which is quite remarkable, and it's especially really thin down here towards the edge. So we've got a lot more coming up on the Asus UL30VT. We're going to put a solid-state drive in here. We're going to mess around with overclocking and do some other performance tweaks and talk about the experience of this new laptop and whether it actually gets 10 or 12 hours of battery life, which would be quite remarkable. A lot more to come. That's it for now.